Are you in a new season of your life? Are you stuck and searching for clarity so you can make a career change? Do you just need the courage to switch careers? Are you ready to follow God's plan for your career? Welcome to Choose Your Next Yes. Hi, Kindred. I'm Mel, a career transition coach, mom of grown-ups, coffee lover, and God girl. I've had a lot of big life changes, and I haven't always been clear about God's plan for me. This led to stress and anxiety and a lack of clarity and courage to make a career move. I finally started listening to God's voice to find clarity and peace and stopped being scared to make a move and achieve my career transition goals. Now, my mission is to help you learn to listen to God's voice and know when to say yes to the career you've always wanted and no to everything else. Let me show you how to clarify your purpose and find courage to pursue your personal and professional goals in your midlife and beyond. Throw down your self-doubt, dust off your dreams, Kindred. It's time to reset and refine and reclaim the woman you once aspired to be. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mel. And today I have a very special guest with me. I have one of my longtime dear friends, Jenifer Goodson. Welcome to the show, Jen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being on here. Jen and I go way back to second grade. I think that's where we first met each other, was in second grade.
That sounds about right. Like a long time ago, right?
Yeah. I'm sure we knew each other in first grade, but there were two first grade classes. No, you moved there in second grade? Okay.
I came in late first grade. We came back from Colorado. So I think I came in mid-year.
Okay. All right. Well, we were both in Miss Gromit's class in second grade. And now Miss Gromit is your stepmom, and she is no longer Miss Gromit. She is Miss Bland. So that was, we go so far back, and we've always been really good friends. We used to stay the night together, and we skateboarded down the hill together. And we've always had a lot of fun, and we've been really close. And, just over the years, I guess we've kind of, taken our different paths in life, and we've kind of, how it is with high school, you disconnect from some of the people that you grew up with, but we've kind of reconnected in the last few years. And now we're really in a very similar proximity. You're just a few miles down the road from me. So it's exciting to have you on the show and have someone that has been someone who's been in my life for a long, long time.
Yeah, if you think about it, that's like 40 years.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Like probably closer to 45.
Yeah, because you're like 7, 8 you're probably 8 in second grade. So, and we're 51. So we'll leave the math to the people on the other side.
Right.
I don't want to do that right now. But Jen has a great story that I have just been really impressed with the last year and a half. I'm not sure how long her journey has gone on, but I think you and I have both come a long way since our goofy ditzy high school years. And I think we've both done pretty well for ourselves. And so I wanted to have you on the show to talk about your career, but also what you're doing for your health journey. And I love seeing the things that you're doing. So I'm just going to let you take the floor, introduce yourself, and then just kind of dig in. I'll ask some questions along the way and dig a little deeper in some things, but take the floor.
Thank you. So first of all, again, I want to say thank you for having me on, because this is my actual first podcast I've ever done.
Wow, this is awesome.
So the fact that, first of all, I'm just honored that you would ask me. So as a friend, as, a peer in a way, right? Because we're both in education too. Mm-hmm. So I just appreciate the opportunity. So I'm 51 also. Like Melinda said, we went to school together. We're from a very, very small community.
Actually, our birthdays are only 2 days apart.
Yeah, right. We're in July. We're July babies.
Yeah.
And we're just from a really, really small community. And if we even dove into that, the fact that we are in I guess where we are in our careers, where we are in our lives, if people understood how hard it is to get outside that circle,
Yes.
we I don't know about you, but I actually, if you think about it from that perspective, that's just, I don't know. I just, if I were to reflect on that, I'm like, well, I can't believe I'm in this position.
I
Like, and I
know.
can't believe I'm living my life like it is right now. If
And
that
it's
makes sense.
yes, it does because I think back to what the town we grew up in was when we were there and what it is now, and it saddens me to see
Yes.
how much it's gone downhill and how much or how little there is for anybody still living there. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's hardly any of our graduating class living there now. There's a few, but very few.
Yeah. So, actually, I am really proud that I was able to make something for myself and my family
Yes.
and get out, right?
Hmm.
Taking that long road.
Hmm.
So, but no, I am 51. We just turned 51 in July. Me and you both did. And so I have been a paramedic now for 23 years. I did work on an ambulance for 14 of that, where I did direct patient care in my community. I had an opportunity to start teaching at a community college. And so I've been at a community college now. I started my ninth year this year in education, and I am currently the director over that program. So I oversee the program, but I'm also teaching inside the classroom.
Hmm.
So my responsibilities, I guess, are a little bit more now, but I don't work on the truck anymore. My full-time job is at the college. So that is pretty much almost 12 months a year, as you know.
Right. Right.
A few breaks here and there. I've been married for 20, I'll be married 27 years in October. And we have one child who is 19 years old. He is in his freshman year of college, and he's going where I am currently working. I'm
Oh,
a
that's
big
awesome and
supporter.
convenient, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm just a big, now that I know a little bit about the world of education, I'm like, community college is really great.
Yeah, it is.
And so getting those general eds out of the way before he moves on. So on top of that, I am 2 classes away from completing my master's degree in higher education leadership.
Wow,
Um,
congratulations.
yeah, thanks.
I
I'll
did
be
not
finishing up
realize
next.
that.
Yeah, be finishing up next year. And I got my personal training certification at the beginning of this year. I've always enjoyed working out. I've had my ups and downs throughout the years. Weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, gain,
I have a
loss.
question first.
Yeah.
Weren't you were in the military, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're used to the working out part of it for sure.
Yeah, I just, it's just ebb and flow throughout the life. Like
Mhm.
what works, what doesn't. You get
Yes.
sidetracked, you lose motivation, you gain motivation. We're human. I think family plays a big part of it. Careers play a big part in that too.
Mhm.
Um,
Being a woman plays a big part in that.
yes. I think responsibilities, what we see is important at the time because that changes through every decade, through every year, sometimes multiple
Mhm.
times a year. But I've always enjoyed working out. Dieting plays a part. I think support systems play the largest part, to be honest with you. But I've always enjoyed it. And, when I look back at 49, I really started trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I
Mhm.
think there was something more. I just didn't know what it was. So I was like, okay, I got to challenge myself. What am I missing? So I started doing the 75 hard, and I don't know if you've heard of that.
I have heard of that. I
Yes.
have not
Uh,
partaken in that yet, but I have
yeah.
heard of
So
it.
I was like, I'm going to start there. 75 days. I liked the fact that I had this checklist I had to do every day. I had to read 10 pages out of a personal book. It couldn't be whatever I wanted. It had to be like some kind of self-serving book. So really diving into, okay, I can't just read whatever I want. I have to read on how to better myself.
So it's
So
whole person. So it's
yeah.
not just working out, weight loss, it's whole person.
Right. So, okay, you got to find time to get your 10 pages in. I have to drink a gallon of water every day. I have to do 2 workouts a day for at least 45 minutes. There were other things too, but it was like 8 to 10 things. And there's actually an app that you can download so you can check things off as you go through. So the fact that you have this checklist, and I didn't think I would like that, but I was like, oh, hey, we all like to see completion,
Yes.
right? So as you complete something, it's that, okay, I got that done. Okay, what do I have left? So I completed that. And then there's 3 phases after that. And I ended up completing the next 2 phases of it. phase one's like you have to add in a 5-minute cold shower.
Woo!
So, but it teaches you discipline.
Right.
And the deal is, if you miss one of those things, you have to start from day one. You can't,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah. So it's like that. Okay, how bad do I really want to accomplish this? When I got done with it, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. I made some progress, but I was like, I kind of enjoy that check mark thing. Like,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And that's
Um,
motivating for me too, to mark things off of my checklist.
yeah. And then it also forces you to take photos. I can't remember if it was every day or once a week, because sometimes we don't feel like we're making progress
Yes.
because the scale won't move.
Yes.
And then the biggest thing I learned was, oh my gosh, my body is changing.
Hmm.
And it was really starting to change after that first month. But I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually put my photos up from day 1 to day 30. Oh,
Right.
I think it was take a photo every night. Especially if you wear the same suit or the same outfit,
Right.
right? You can physically see your stain. So I was really excited because I was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe the scale's not moving, but I'm feeling better and I am looking better.
Right.
It's right.
Yes.
So I did that. And during the same time, I'm a big advocate of supplement superstores because they do have the free scanning. They do the S2 transformation challenge that you can win money. But it's a private group. Everybody's in there for the same reason, to get better in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
We're real people. Like, we have careers, like you were talking about. You're
Hmm.
juggling your family, you're juggling your
Right.
careers. People lose motivation. And so I joined that for support. And I met a few women in there that were in their 40s and 50s that
Hmm.
were kind of going through, like we were talking about, the ebb and flow of life, like trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. And I met this girl in there who lives up by Kansas City, and she was posting her bodybuilding pictures.
Hmm.
And I'm like, so tell me about this, right?
Right.
Um, but my big thing was, how old are you? Because I was like, talking to an 18-year-old, I don't think it's going to do me any good.
Right. Exactly.
So I
They
kind
don't
of,
have a lot of body problems sometimes
yeah.
anyway. So,
So I was like, okay, so, and she was like early 40s. I'm like, okay, I can talk to somebody in the early 40s.
right. Right.
And she was just telling me about how this works. I'm just like, this is so cool that you're doing this in your 40s. And I'm like, how does this work? Do you have coaches, food? Tell me about this. And so I talked to her for about 3 months, back and forth.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, well, do you think your coach would talk to me? And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So at the beginning of December of 22, I reached out to the coach and I was just like, hey, I'm thinking about this. What does this look like? Cost, whatever. I got done. I'm like, well, I'm going to talk to my husband about it. On December, I want to say 18th, I signed my contract
Hmm.
and I made the decision to do it
Wow.
because I was like, I'm 49. I
Hmm.
turn 50 next year.
Hmm.
How far can I push myself mentally and physically when I turn 50?
Hmm.
And me turning 50 was the start of that mental change. Like, I was like, I don't want to look back and regret not ever doing something outside the norm.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't
Not
want to,
pushing yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not pushing
Taking
myself.
chances.
Yeah. That's a great, taking a chance, I think, is another way to put it. And
Hmm.
I think just picking something that would truly challenge myself. Reading a book wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't, I'm already taking master's classes. That's not filling that gap for me right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
I need something. I didn't know
A
what it was.
challenge. A
Yeah,
challenge.
I didn't know what it was. I just know I needed it.
Hmm.
So once I signed my contract and I got started, the goal was to compete at some time when I was 50.
Hmm.
So I started in December, the week of Christmas. Who does that? I don't know, but I did. Um,
That means you were trying to not eat bad stuff when
I
there's
did.
all
And
of the bad stuff around.
I packed all my food. I
Yeah.
packed all my food when I went down to my mom and dad's for Christmas, and I actually ate
Oh
what I
my
brought. I
gosh.
did.
I can't believe that because your mom and dad cook the best.
So, I actually started Christmas week. They said there's a competition in October the following year. We think you can make that. And I was just like, I don't know, like, but you got to trust somebody. These are the
Hmm.
professionals. I don't know what I'm getting
Right.
into. So then the goal was to compete in October of 23. And I made it. I made that date.
You did.
And I started out at 180 pounds at 30% body fat. And the day I stepped on stage, I was 126 pounds and was 9.5% body fat.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And she has muscles, girls, coming out everywhere. She shows them to everybody and they're beautiful.
And then I'd heard you either love it or you hate it. And I guess I fell in love with it because
Yeah.
I'm 6 weeks out from my next competition. Same
Yes.
one, same place.
Yes.
So here we are,
That is
almost
such
2
an
years later.
awesome, yes, such an awesome journey. But even that, like there were so many things that you said in that, and just there was something that you were looking for
Mhm.
because now, like a lot of my women are that are listening, my audience, they are going into that empty nest hood and they no longer are full-time mom. They have adult children. They don't have to cater to their needs anymore. And there is a gap. There's a hole left there. Even if your children are almost adults, if they're still in your household, you're still in that parent mode. You're in that mom mode. And once they step out, then there is that gap sometimes, that hole that's needing to be filled. And it is something that takes a little bit of time to figure out. And it took you a little bit of time, but God brought it to you in a way that you knew that's what it was. But you were groomed for a little while because that's something scary to step
Oh,
into.
yeah.
I mean, really scary. Okay, I can't eat the things that I want. I have to work out. I have to be dedicated to work out. I think I've seen stuff like you're working out like twice a day and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And carbs are so beautiful and wonderful. And you were on there the other day and like, this is my first day of no carbs. And I have my Scooter's coffee with no flavor and all of those things. So it's a scary thing to step into. And whether it be, you said something about you're taking master's classes.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily because you are an educator. It's not something necessarily that was going to fill that gap for you or that was a stretch mentality for you. This was that thing.
Yeah.
But some other lady who is looking for something, some other mom, some other woman who is where we are in our life, in this season of life, it might be taking that class or two. It might be finding a photography class, or one of the things on my bucket list is a self-defense class
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm in the St. Louis area and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm ever going to need to use it, but I'd like to be prepared just in case. And so it's a scary thought for me, but it's something that I feel like I need to do in the near future. And so whatever it is that you're looking for, when you find it and you know it, you know it. Jen and I had such a great conversation that it was really, really long. So I'm going to stop here for today. And I would like for you to join me back here, same time, same place next week for part 2 of my conversation with Jen Goodson. See you then. Bye-bye.